the behemoth that is Game of Thrones returned this week. Once again, broke the internet with its downloads and previews, and this is the 7th series, and this is the first of the last 2 series, which will be a lot shorter. There's only 7 episodes in this series, and they're probably only
7 or 8?
I think it's 7 in 7 and then 6 in 8, I think. You've got 3 major plot lines and one that will sort of tease in, or 2 little ones that will tease in. The first major plot line is...
And the notorious cameo that I think we should bring up as well.
Well, definitely, yeah, we'll get on to that. Firstly, up in the north, you have Jon Snow and Sansa Stark, along with all the wildlings and the lords from the north. They're all kind of still arguing about the fact that the White Walkers are coming down south. They're getting closer and closer to the Wall. Bran has arrived at the Wall, but all the Northern Lords are at Winterfell, and they're all kind of talking about how they're going to deal with the White Walkers coming, how they're going to have to train children and women in order to fight because they don't have the numbers. And towards the end of the episode, it's revealed that they need this mythical article called Dragonglass, which is the only thing that can kill White Walkers.
Well, he says that early on, doesn't he? He says Jon says it in that scene where they're all in the hall.
Yeah, it's actually been... The strange thing is that one of the things which they've not done particularly well in the series, Stannis, who was one of the major characters who got killed off a couple of years ago, told Jon and Sam that there was loads of Dragonglass at Dragonstone, but that's been kind of forgotten. So.
Well, no, he did mention it. Sam mentioned it in this episode. He did say Stannis told me that there was Dragonglass at Dragonstone. He said that exact thing.
It just happens to be a bit clunky because it's like, well, then why didn't they?
There is a lot of clunk. Yeah, there's a lot of clunkiness here.
And I think that's because there's this whole sort of idea that these are the big action series episodes, and therefore plot. There wasn't a
lot of action here, though. It was just a lot of talking. One thing as well with that Jon thing is that there's some tension between he and Sansa.
Yes.
And she's got a bit sort of evil now, you know. She's sort of been influenced by sort of Ramsay and Cersei and people she's been around. You know, she's been around.
She's damaged a bit, isn't she? Now, so she's quite twisted. So.
And there's Littlefinger sniffing around as well. I love Aidan Gillen's smirk. I think he can smirk better than anyone in the business.
Yeah, he almost doesn't need to say anything for ages, so he can just sort of influence things by that. As we move a little bit further down south, as we mentioned, first off you had Arya Stark, who
Arya
or Arya. Well, I never know because it's
Arya. Everyone says Arya. Yeah.
All right. I'll say Arya then. Yeah. At the end of the last series, she killed Walder Frey, who was the Lord of the Twins and where the Red Wedding took place. Yeah, David Bradley again. And she, as a face changer, or what's it called?
Go with face changer.
Face changer, because I can't remember the name of the thing. And she basically organises a feast and spikes the wine and kills off all the rest of the male Frey, so all of his heirs. Allegedly have been killed. Again, a lot of people pulling holes in this because we don't quite know how the face changing thing works because she's not as tall as he was, yet she looks exactly like him. But and the idea was that she came out and she gave a very knowing smirk as well. You know, her revenge for the fact the Red Wedding killed her brother and her mother.
I just like to praise David Bradley for sort of doing a convincing performance that he was Arya being Walder, if that makes sense.
But it wasn't him, but it was him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that was quite a good performance, yeah.
Yeah. She then runs into a bunch of Lannister soldiers, one of which bears a striking resemblance to Ed Sheeran.
Oh, God, Gary, can I just say I hated that thing where she came across, they were singing, obviously, because Ed Sheeran was there. And she just goes, oh, nice song, I've not heard it before. And Ed Sheeran goes, oh, it's a new one. And that was just some of the clunkiest dialogue.
Again, I was expecting him to pull out an MP3 player and say, here it is on my latest album, you know, or something like that. Yeah. And, of course, a lot of people disappointed that there she was and she didn't kill him, you know.
Yeah.
Might still happen in the next episode, you never know.
Yeah. As long as she doesn't take his face.
Oh, gosh, yeah, who wants that? Also going north are the Hound, Beric Dondarrion and Thoros of Myr.
The Brotherhood Without Banners?
The Brotherhood Without Banners, yes indeed. They come across a farm to rest in, and it turns out to be a farm which Arya and the Hound left the father and the daughter for dead, pretty much stole their stuff. There's quite a few nice little bits, you know, when they say, oh, let's see if we can find some ale, and he goes, I know there's not any. And there's also a nice nod to the books where he digs a grave and buries the bodies, because in the book, the Hound is also known as the Grave Digger. In his new kind of in his new persona.
I thought that was a really good. again, some nice acting from Rory McCann, who I think
Yes.
is one of the sort of sleeper stars of this.
But the language there, oh my word. He certainly doesn't call a spade a spade. Yeah, choice. Thank you. We'll come on to more about that in our next review. Going down south, further down south, we have obviously King's Landing, the capital. We have Queen Cersei. I don't know whether she's calling herself Queen Cersei.
Yeah, she's. I liked the I'm Queen of the Seven Kingdoms, and Jamie says, "Oh, three at best."
Best, yeah. That was a nice touch.
It was good that they got that map painted on the floor just in time so she could do all the exposition about where all their enemies lied, and we could see a nice little.
I wonder how long that took to dry, you know. So because there's still somebody potting it off at the top, you know, at the end, you know.
Yeah, what you didn't see in that next scene was all the paint on her shoes when she went to meet your man from Borgen.
Yes, and she meets Euron Greyjoy, the man from Borgen, as Matt says.
He's now instead of playing a pirate. Business. Yeah.
Instead of playing a pirate, he's now playing a rock star by the looks of it.
Yeah, with his eyeliner.
With his eyeliner and his leather jacket. So, but he's basically was named King of the Iron Islands in the last series, and has got a major problem with his two nephew and nieces, and he's promised to go and bring back a prize in order to win the favour and the hand of the Queen. Jamie is doing his best not to kill him, probably because he'd lose, and just basically sort of furthering this whole tension between him and Cersei as well. Yeah. Which is a wonderful plot line, but not a lot else going on in King's Landing. No real other major characters.
There doesn't,
because she blew them up.
There's not anyone left. She blew them all up.
So
it's literally Jamie, Cersei, Anton Lesser, the Mountain, and a painter, and that's about it.
Possibly one of the Maesters, but I'm not sure if he's dead or alive. I can't remember.
Isn't Anton Lesser the Maester now?
No, because you still got he's the Lord of Whispers. The Maester is still Pycelle.
Did Pycelle die?
I don't know. I don't remember. I can't remember that.
Okay.
He's not dead in the...
Yeah, they killed him off. They did kill him off.
Oh, of course they did. Yes, you were right. They did kill him. Well done. Yes, the Hound killed him.
They kill off so many people that you forget sometimes he's died.
And of course, I'm also a big book reader of the series, so I'm trying to work out, because he's also dead in the books, but not then. So, anyway.
Sam as well in the Citadel?
Yes, Sam in the Citadel, and he's training to be a wizard. A Maester.
Under Jim Broadbent.
Indeed, and his differences between soup and poop, basically, was that whole series.
I quite liked that little montage. That was quite comic for Game of Thrones. That little.
It was, and some wonderful. If you go on YouTube, some people have put it to music, which is hilarious. And he obviously it gets into the secret library of the Citadel, and steals a couple of books to take back and read, which give him the information about Dragonglass. And I don't know if you noticed.
With the scales.
Don't know if you noticed, there was other little clues in the book.
Oh, was there?
If you were paying attention.
What were the clues, Gary?
Right. So the clue was, in the left-hand side of the book, it also talked about the fact that Dragonglass can cure grayscale.
Which is what your man
where you also found your man from the other plot, who's now come to the Citadel to try and get Jorah of Mormont. Yes, Jorah of Mormont.
That one.
Yes, so a lot of people are making a lot of that. Apparently, if you ingest Dragon's Glass, you can cure grayscale.
Okay.
Talking of Dragonglass, we end up with its home, and this was again a very nice bit. Not a lot of talking. This was mostly a long tracking scene. Well, apart from the last bit, the tracking scene of Daenerys entering her ancestral home of Dragonstone, where all the Targaryens lived for thousands of years, and where she was allegedly born. We have no confirmation. An empty castle, always a bit weird. She tore down the previous banners of Stannis Baratheon, took her place rightfully in the throne room, walked into the big mat room, another big mat room.
Well, crucially, what she did was she looked at the throne and went, "No, I'm not going to sit on the throne. I want to get straight to the war room." That was that's what I saw. It's like, there's the throne, but I'm not bothered about that. I want to strategize. Yeah,
she wants to sit on the Iron Throne. She wants to sit on King's Landing. So, she will. There is a clip of her sitting on that throne next week, but I do like the symbolism. You're quite right. Yeah. Into the map room, just her and her hand, just her and
Tyrion.
Tyrion. And, let's get to work.
Shall we begin? I think
brilliant
little
line. Shall we begin? Wow, I'm paraphrasing for a modern audience.
Let's get to work.
Let's get to work. But basically, yeah, and we're set up for episode 2. There's been also we mentioned Comic-Con earlier. There's been a new Series 7 trailer launched at Comic-Con with lots of little bits that haven't been seen. I'm looking forward to episode 2. I think this was a good start. As you say, low on action, but certainly as we've found with other series of Game of Thrones, it's building the tension nicely already.